In India, dowry has been illegal since 1961. You can go to prison for demanding it. Families have been fined, arrested, and shamed publicly for taking it. And yet, in 2026, dowry is still paid in the vast majority of Indian marriages. Cash, gold, cars, sometimes entire apartments. A law that's been on the books for over 60 years has done almost nothing to stop it. So why does an illegal practice still control one of the most important decisions in millions of Indian lives? Why do educated modern families still hand over lakhs of rupees just to get their daughter married? The answer isn't ignorance. It isn't even greed. It's something far more deeply rooted in how Indian society was built. To understand dowry, you have to go back to a simple, brutal fact. For most of Indian history, women couldn't inherit property. Sons inherited land, homes, and businesses. Daughters inherited nothing. So dowry was invented as a workaround. Instead of giving a daughter land or property directly, parents would give her wealth at the time of her marriage: gold, cash, household goods. This was framed as her share of the family wealth, given early since she wouldn't inherit later. In theory, this money belonged to the bride. It was supposed to be her financial security in her new home. In practice, it became something else entirely: a transaction between families. Over centuries, dowry stopped being about giving the daughter security. It became about what the groom's family could demand. Why? Because sons were seen as more valuable. A son would earn money, carry the family name, and take care of his parents in old age. A daughter would leave and join another family. So marrying off a daughter came with an unspoken message: we're taking a burden off your hands. Pay us for it. The groom's family started asking for more, not because the bride's family owed them anything legally, but because they could. Demand grew with supply. If one family wouldn't pay, another family would. This turned marriage into a bidding war. The more educated, wealthy, or eligible a groom was, the higher the dowry demand. A doctor or engineer could demand 10 times what a farmer could. Marriage stopped being a union between two people. It became a financial transaction where the bride's family paid a premium for a good match. Now here's the disturbing part. Even when families genuinely don't want to give dowry, social pressure forces their hand. If your daughter doesn't bring a respectable dowry, some families won't even consider her for marriage. Relatives gossip, neighbors judge. The family's reputation is at stake. So parents pay, not because they believe in dowry, but because refusing to pay might mean their daughter never gets married at all, or gets treated poorly by her in-laws after marriage. This is why so many families quietly go into debt for their daughter's wedding. They sell land, they take loans, all to pay a system they know is wrong, but feel powerless to resist. And this is where dowry turns dangerous. When dowry isn't enough, or when the bride's family can't pay what was promised, the consequences can be devastating. There are documented cases every year of women facing harassment, abuse, and even death over dowry disputes. This is called dowry death, and India actually tracks it as a specific crime category. Thousands of cases are reported every year, and those are just the ones that get reported. This is why dowry isn't just an outdated tradition. It's an active system that still puts women's safety at risk, decades after being made illegal. So why hasn't the law stopped it? Because laws can ban a transaction, but they can't erase a belief system. The belief that daughters are financial burdens. The belief that marriage is a transaction between families, not a union between two people. The belief that a good groom deserves to be compensated for marrying your daughter. These beliefs are older than the Indian legal system itself, and beliefs don't disappear just because a law says they should. But there is change happening. Educated urban families are increasingly rejecting dowry outright. Grooms themselves, especially younger, progressive men, are refusing to accept it, sometimes publicly, as a stand against the practice. Marriage bureaus and matchmaking apps are starting to flag no dowry as a value, not just a legal requirement. It's slow, it's uneven. Rural India still lags far behind urban India, but for the first time in centuries, dowry is being questioned, not just by law, but by the people it's supposed to serve. Dowry didn't survive for thousands of years because Indian families are cruel. It survived because it was built into the very definition of what a daughter was worth and what a marriage was for. Changing a law took one signature. Changing that belief is taking generations. And the real question isn't whether dowry is illegal. It's whether Indian society will ever stop measuring a daughter's marriage in gold. If this opened your eyes to something you never knew about Indian culture, subscribe to East Explained. We break down the traditions and taboos of Asia that the rest of the world rarely understands. And I want to hear from you. Does a tradition like this still exist in your culture, just dressed up differently? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it.